The moment this whole thing started spinning again, people could feel it in the air, that quiet little shift that always comes before a celebrity storm. Because yes, Meghan Markle was suddenly, quietly, trying to slide herself back into a circle she once walked right out of. Not just any circle, the Beckham circle. The same glamorous, powerful, untouchable circle she had frozen out years ago like they were yesterday's news. The same people who eventually stopped picking up her calls long before the public even realized something was off. And now she wanted back in. She wanted forgiveness. She wanted warmth. She wanted a reset. But Victoria Beckham? Oh no. She isn't the type of woman you hurt and then casually stroll back to like nothing ever happened. Victoria is the kind of woman who remembers, who stays silent, who carries herself with grace even when someone has clearly crossed a line. So when Meghan tried to slip her way back into that polished, powerful world, Victoria shut it down so swiftly and so gracefully it almost looked effortless. But the moment she finally opened her mouth on stage with just 7 little words, the entire world understood exactly why the door had been slammed shut. It wasn't supposed to be a dramatic night. Everything looked perfect. Soft lights, cold champagne. A room filled with the kind of people who don't just walk into events, they glide, they shimmer, they make traffic stop. Victoria Beckham had been to 100 of these London galas. Elegant, expensive, forgettable. Nothing new. She stepped on stage like she had been doing it her whole life, carrying that calm, polished composure she's had since her Spice Girls days. She wasn't there to cause trouble, she was simply giving out an award. Another 7 S's as way. Night. Another spotlight. Another reason for everyone to admire her quiet class. But halfway through her speech, everything shifted. Victoria suddenly locked eyes with a journalist in the crowd, someone who had written about her for years, and she dropped a line no one expected. I kept quiet too long. People need to know what she did. She didn't say Meghan's name. She didn't even blink. She didn't have to. The room froze like someone had slammed a pause button. Every celebrity leaned forward, whispering, wide-eyed, waiting for what would come next. Victoria Beckham had never spoken like that before. Not publicly, not even slightly. The whole thing lasted 11 seconds. 11. Someone recorded it on their phone. The clip hit the internet before dessert even arrived, and by morning, millions had watched the queen of quiet elegance finally break her silence. This wasn't gossip anymore. This was a saga. And if you wanted to understand why that single sentence hit the world so hard, you had to rewind back to when all of this looked completely different. Because once upon a time, Victoria Beckham didn't just tolerate Meghan Markle, she actually embraced her. When Meghan first stepped into the royal spotlight, drowning in the brutal pressure of the British media, Victoria understood exactly what that felt like. She'd lived through it. Decades of tabloids, paparazzi, rumors, lies. Victoria knew that world too well. So she reached out, not as a designer, not as a celebrity, not through assistance, but personally. She gave Meghan something incredibly rare, her private contact list, the real one, the one only a handful of people in the entire country had access to. High-end stylists, elite crisis managers, private spa owners, trusted by royalty, fashion, insiders who normally worked only with the most powerful names. It was Victoria's way of saying, you're stepping into a world that can chew you alive. Let me help you. Meghan accepted, smiling, grateful, or at least she seemed to be. They were seen at Wimbledon together, laughing like childhood. Friends, leaning close, whispering secrets while cameras flashed like fireworks. Victoria sent pieces from her fashion line directly to Kensington Palace. Meghan wore them with pride, praising Victoria's designs in interviews. Fashion insiders talked quietly. Victoria didn't have to do this. She's really helping her. She wants Meghan to feel supported. For a moment, they looked unstoppable. The Hollywood Duchess and the British fashion queen, 2 glamorous women united under pressure, surviving the spotlight together. But what the world didn't know was that beneath all that glitter, a fracture was already forming. By late 2019, Meghan's mood was changing. She wasn't smiling the same way. She wasn't trusting anyone easily. People close to her whispered that she believed someone was leaking private details to the press. Not public appearances, but intimate, personal things that only her inner circle knew. And slowly, rumors began circling Meghan's camp. A name floated around behind closed doors: Victoria Beckham. People outside Meghan's bubble found it absurd. Victoria? Leaking? Victoria, who protected her own privacy with her whole chest. Victoria, who never sold out anyone in decades. please. But Meghan had convinced herself that someone inside her world was talking. And her reaction? Classic Meghan. She cut people off, quietly, completely. No explanation. One day, the invitation stopped. One day, the text didn't get replies. One day, Victoria Beckham, the woman who had opened her world to Meghan, was pushed out without a single word. By the time Meghan and Harry stepped back from royal duties, the friendship was a ghost. The Beckhams weren't invited anymore, weren't included, weren't part of the world they had once helped Meghan navigate so warmly. It was silence. A cold, sharp silence that said more than any confrontation ever could. Years passed. Meghan built her California life cameras, deals, interviews, the Hollywood glow. Victoria stayed busy with her fashion empire, her family, her quiet elegance. Publicly, they acted like nothing had ever happened. No statements, no shade, not a whisper. Their silence became a wall neither of them wanted to climb. But silence never lasts forever. It sits, it grows, it thickens, and eventually, it cracks. And the crack came from the last place anyone expected, a children's hospital. Fundraiser. Victoria poured months into it: designs, sponsorships, decor, planning, real work, real money, real heart. Meghan Markle was supposed to co-host. A duchess on the poster meant donations would skyrocket. Everything looked perfect. Until one email surfaced. An email from one of Meghan's aides. It said, per Duchess's request, please consider alternative fashion sponsorship. Concerns have been raised about brand alignment and external press narratives. Translation? Meghan didn't want Victoria's name on the event. The Victoria who had helped her, dressed her, supported her, guided her. Her name vanished from the posters overnight, no warning, no gratitude, nothing. That was the crack. And after that, everything unraveled. The morning after Victoria's icy 7-word mic drop shook the world, the Beckhams made their next move. It wasn't dramatic or messy. It was classic. Beckham style, subtle, controlled, lethal. David Beckham posted a single photo. Him, Victoria, their daughter, a normal family moment. But the caption? That one caption stopped the internet. Truth always comes out in the end. 7 words, just like Victoria's. He didn't tag anyone. He didn't tag. Aim it at anyone. But everyone knew exactly who it was about. Celebrities started quietly liking it, the type of likes that speak louder than statements. Hollywood shifted. Insiders whispered. Even Meghan's fans felt the ground move beneath them. It wasn't Victoria versus Meghan anymore. It was the Beckham family drawing a silent, united line. And while the world waited for Meghan to respond, she didn't. Not a post, not a denial, not even a vague message from her team. The silence from her side was thick, heavy. And honestly, it didn't look strong. It looked scared. Even Harry looked tense when paparazzi caught him at the airport, head down, jaw tight, walking fast. Reporters yelled questions about the Beckham drama. He didn't say a single word. Then came the gasoline on an already raging fire, a 14-second audio clip. A woman's voice, calm, cutting, saying, "She's lucky, Don't say what I know about her." No name, no context. But the uploader claimed it was Meghan, talking about Victoria. People fought over it online. Fake? Real? Edited? Authentic? Even Meghan's biggest fan accounts cracked. One deleted their pinned defense of her, replacing it with, "If that audio is real, I don't know what to say anymore." Victoria didn't address the audio, didn't defend herself, didn't attack Meghan. But someone close to her said one chilling line to reporters. She was disappointed, but not surprised. That sentence sliced through Hollywood like a blade. Because disappointed means she had hoped for better. Not surprised means she already knew. And now, the whisper said, Victoria was considering something she had avoided her entire career. A sit-down interview. A real one. Long form, honest, direct, factual. The kind of interview that doesn't rely on drama, because the truth is already dramatic enough. A friend close to her said, "People only know half the story. She's ready to tell the rest." And that is the moment the world realized this wasn't a feud anymore. It was history being written. And while everyone held their breath waiting for Victoria's next step, something strange happened behind the scenes. The calls Meghan had been quietly making to old acquaintances, the soft attempts to reconnect, the subtle, just checking in messages, they weren't landing the way she hoped. People weren't jumping to welcome her back. Doors that once opened instantly now moved a little slower. And in the world of high society, a slow door is a loud message. Something had shifted, and Meghan could feel it. Her team could feel it. Hollywood could feel it. because once the Beckhams took a stand, even silently, the energy around the entire situation changed. Meghan had built a reputation over the years, some fair, some exaggerated, but Victoria's reputation was different. Solid, untouched, quiet but powerful. When someone like Victoria speaks, people listen. When someone like Victoria hints at betrayal, people believe her. And when someone like Victoria decides she's done being silent, it sends shockwaves that no PR team can soften. Behind closed doors, the whispers got louder. Executives murmured about brand concerns. Fashion insiders talked about loyalty. People who once defended Meghan started choosing their words more carefully. It wasn't an attack, it was distance. And in Hollywood, distance is deadlier than drama. Victoria, meanwhile, remained exactly who she's always been. Composed, focused, unbothered on the surface, but finally ready to let the truth breathe. Not with a rant, not with chaos, but with calm, sharp clarity. A clarity Meghan never expected, because at the end of it all, Victoria Beckham didn't need revenge. She didn't need headlines, she didn't need to shout. She just needed 7 words, a moment of truth, and the unwavering strength of a woman who knows exactly who she is. And that's why Meghan won it back in. But some circles, once broken, never reopen.